Salve galera, NettoX. Uma live aqui da E3. Eu gostei dessa novidade daí que agora colocaram de fazer enquete e parece que vocês esperam bastante de Resident Evil 4 Remake. Até assim jogaria um Resident Evil 4, mas se vier remake eu acho que talvez eu jogaria. Já vou até colocar aqui no evento. Um salve aí a todo mundo, Demon Slayer, Rafa Marte, Isaías meio sumido, todo mundo aí. E é isso aí, galera. Pelo menos assim, do que eu mais espero seria um Devil May Cry 6, que já tem um tempinho que saiu o 5 e eu já trouxe, então por que não sair um novo? E é isso aí, galera. Quem tiver aí, não esquece de deixar aquele like lá e compartilhar pra gente pra dar aquela força e se inscrever se for inscrito. Eu já chamei alguns convidados, se quiserem apertar, ah, se quiserem já entrar aí na call, já tô no aguardo aqui. E é isso aí. Vamos ver o que que a Capcom nos reserva. O problema é que a Capcom assim, é uma caixinha de surpresas em questão do que pode vir. Então, se vier qualquer coisa, eu já vou ficar surpreso. Mas pelo menos assim, do que eu mais espero realmente é Devil May Cry 6. Mas eu acho que o mais certo é Resident Evil 4 mesmo. É isso aí, galera. 4 minutos para começar. Vão compartilhando aí para os seus amigos para dar aquela força. Se inscreva se for inscrito. Também deixar aquele like para ajudar. Assim, Anderson, se vier qualquer um, pelo menos que eu coloquei na enquete, seria muito bem-vindo. Ah, e pra quem não sabe, galera, de novidade, agora o canal tem Pix, caso queira ajudar o canal. E claro, sistema de membros, mas caso queira ajudar, mas tá tudo aí. Mas isso aí, vamos ir esperando 2 minutos para começar. Espero que essa conferência seja boa. Ah, espero que seja boa, Rafa Martins. Daqui a pouco começa. E também um fato até que é a primeira vez também, é a primeira vez que a Capcom vai apresentar mesmo uma E3. Ela sempre apresentou, podemos dizer, por terceiros. Tipo, ela aparece na conferência da Sony, ou na do Xbox, ou talvez na da Nintendo, mas normalmente ela sempre aparece por terceiros mesmo. É isso aí, já vai começar, 40 segundos. Que quando chegar nos 10 eu já desmuto o evento. E vamos torcer para que a Capcom não dê nenhum direito autoral nem nada. Aê. Vamos lá, Capcom, não nos decepcione. Lá já para começar. Já começa com o trailer. Grande Capcom.
Welcome to the Capcom E3 Showcase. I'm your host, Rachel Querico, aka Seltzer, and I'll be your guide as we walk through the latest releases, news, and updates from Capcom. We'll hear from the Resident Evil Village team, share some news from the world of Monster Hunter, and get the latest on Ace Attorney. Then we'll wrap up with some updates from our friends at Capcom Fighters. So what are we waiting for? Let's get started. Our first stop today, Resident Evil Village. The Resident Evil franchise continues to pioneer the latest and greatest in survival horror.
Eu não tô lá muito fã de Resident. Se for ação, eu jogo. No caso, eu dou chance a Resident Evil 4.
Which launched last month. It brought the world another chapter in this decades-long story as the franchise celebrates its 25th anniversary this year.
Devil May Cry 6 e Resident Evil 4 Remake.
Tsuyoshi Kanda, producer on Resident Evil Village, with a special message for the fans.
Pra quem gostou do Resident Evil Village, vem novidades por aí.
Bye bye.
There's nothing to fear.
Where's Rose? She's everything to me.
Da Capcom mesmo, assim, que os jogos seria mais Strider, Mega Man, Devil May Cry, Street Fighter, mas Resident no máximo daria chance ao 4.
Hi everyone, my name is Tsuyoshi Kanda, producer on Resident Evil Village. I wanted to take this opportunity to thank everyone who's played since we launched the game in May. We hope you're enjoying this new chapter in survival horror.
Será que vem alguma DLC?
Everyone who
Que nem veio pro Resident Evil 7?
Village will gain free access to our online multiplayer title, Resident Evil Re:Verse, where players go head-to-head with their favorite Resident Evil heroes and
achei meio zoado esse multiplayer que
fizeram. I'm now
fizeram.
happy to announce that Resident Evil Re:Verse will go live next month across all supported platforms. So head into the fray to celebrate the Resident Evil 25th anniversary.
Aê, DLC pra quem gosta de Resident.
Thank you, Kanda-san, for that wonderful update. Next up, some long-awaited news from the world of Monster Hunter. Whether it's adventuring alongside monsters or battling them with friends, we've got something for you.
Bom pra jogar com os amigos,
First, let's dive into the brand new story-based RPG entry to the series, Monster Hunter Stories 2: Wings of Ruin.
É exclusivo do Switch, se eu não me engano. Wings of Ruin. Sabia. Pra quem tem um Switch aí, ó. E espero que se mantenha exclusivo do Switch. Pelo menos eu espero.
Red may have been strong and skilled, but against the awesome power of nature, he was merely a man. He never stood a chance.
All around things just kept getting worse. But I heard.
Mas eu não sou lá muito fã de Monster Hunter, só se juntar os amigos mesmo pra jogar.
I went there to see Red's old monster again.
Ah, vai sair pro PC?
Then of course, that's when I met you.
You were given Red's kinship stone and now a Rathalos egg. This is destiny.
This is the legendary monster. The monster with the wings of ruin. It's said that a beat of its wings can bring about waves
Tá
of
bem bonito o
destruction.
jogo.
Many people believe
Pra quem tem o
there's a
Switch, acho que vale a
connection
pena.
between
Esse
strange
Monster Hunter e
happenings
o
and
outro que
wings
saiu.
of ruin. The pits are appearing everywhere. And
Mas
they're
como o
emitting
Rafa falou aí, vai sair
strange
pra
light.
PC também, né? Então acho que deve valer a pena também. Pra quem joga no PC.
What's this whole idea of forming kinship with monsters? How do you control them?
It's not about control. Monsters help riders of their own will. And the bonds between monsters and riders.
Já vi que gostou, né, o Rafa, de Monster Hunter. Eu tenho Monster Hunter World no Play 4, eu joguei um pouco, mas gostei. Tá como falei, ele é legal pra jogar com os amigos.
What kind of power does Ratha really have? Why are all of these pits appearing? And who are those people who want to take Ratha for themselves? All I have are questions.
If there's worry or doubt in your voice, Ratha will become anxious too. He needs to know that you will protect him no matter what.
I can sense the flames of his life force.
Ah, já vi que é fã, né, o Rafa, do Monster
The
Hunter.
burden of such great power is too much for his body to bear.
A voice. Can you hear it?
Riders can bond with monsters. Surely you can groove with fellow humans.
Bem, pelo menos com esse anúncio já dá pra descartar Monster Hunter na Nintendo, que vai ser a conferência de amanhã. A não ser que no máximo eles façam uma reprise, mas já dá pra tirar Monster Hunter da conferência da Nintendo. Essa é Rings of Ruin. Que mato. Ah, vai ter uma trial ainda. No Switch tem muito disso. Você joga a trial e tudo que você fez nela pode mandar pro jogo definitivo mesmo. E Amiibo ainda. A Capcom tá investindo bem na Nintendo, hein? E já tem data, 9 de julho. Os fãs de Monster Hunter vão
Looks pretty
loucura.
epic, right? And how about that announcement? The canine companion Palamute from Monster Hunter Rise will be joining Monster Hunter Stories 2 as one of the new monsties in the first free title update coming soon after the game's release. You can get an early peek at the game with the Monster Hunter Stories 2 Wings of Ruin trial version starting on June 25th, which also carries your progress over to the full game release just a few weeks later on July 9th. That's not the only way to join the hunt. Millions of you made Monster Hunter Rise a huge success earlier this year. And we have even more content coming, including a new collaboration on the Rise. Let's find out more.
Update pro Monster Hunter Rise.
Let's go!
Eu já vi umas gameplays desse jogo e ele é basicamente Monster Hunter World, só que pro Switch. Só que pensa numa adaptação bem feita do World, basicamente.
Is no runt. Moon's blessing emerge. Get ready.
O trabalho que eles fizeram com Monster Hunter Rise é basicamente trazer o Monster Hunter World pro Switch. Quem viu o Monster Hunter World do Play 4 vê o quanto que é bonito. E aí depois você adapta isso daí pro Switch, fica bem adaptado e ainda mantém o gráfico de certa maneira. Claro que nas limitações do Switch. que eu acho que a Capcom acertaria um pouco mais se eles colocassem alguns dos jogos que eu coloquei na enquete, tipo um Devil May Cry 6 e Mega Man X9, seria muito bem-vindo. E também tem rumor muito forte de Resident Evil 4 Remake.
Tamura is like my second home.
You think you can take on Rondine?
Já tem update. E muito mais novidade ainda.
There has never been a better time to be a Monster Hunter fan. With all the new updates to Monster Hunter Rise and the launch of Monster Hunter Stories 2 this summer, we can't wait to hear about your own stories of adventure. Well, that's not the only thing Capcom has in store for us this July. Fans of Phoenix Wright will have new chapters to explore with the release of the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. North American and European future attorneys will finally be able to get their hands on the Great Ace Attorney Adventures and the Great Ace Attorney 2 Resolve, which were previously only available in Japan. You'll travel back in time to the late 19th century Japan and London to play as Ryunosuke Naruhodo, Phoenix Wright's ancestor, in this action-packed prequel. Now, let's hear more about the story.
So then, let us unravel this mystery.
Por enquanto a Capcom tá mandando bem. Monster Hunter, Resident Evil, agora Ace Attorney.
This country is incredible.
A investigação? Eu não sei se é muito o estilo que eu jogaria.
So then, let us unravel this mystery and discover what events led to this curious murder. Who are you? Herlock Sholmes. You must have heard of me.
We must solve this case, Naruhodo-san.
Let us engage in the art of deduction, Mr.
Sholmes. Já notei que esse cara faz referência com certeza ao Sherlock.
It would seem the truth is now tantalizingly close.
The defense demands its right to a cross-examination. Objection! Your testimony completely contradicts the facts.
Objection! My lord, with all due respect, this is an outrage!
Parece interessante, mas eu não sou lá muito fã, assim, jogo muito desse tipo.
So we have 10 new cases and 8 mini escapades where you can take on the role of a defense attorney. Now, we all want to see some gameplay, right? Let's take a closer first look at 2 gameplay features new to the franchise in the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles: Dance of Deduction and Summation Examination.
Vamos lá, gameplay pelo menos.
Hello, I'm Jonathan, Capcom's marketing brand manager for the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles.
So this is the capital of Great Britain.
Where to?
The Supreme Court in Whitehall, if you wouldn't mind.
The Capcom team is thrilled to present 2 new gameplay features, Dance of Deduction and Summation Examination, coming to the Ace Attorney series.
Dança da dedução, o que deve ser?
While investigating to prove your client's innocence, players will come across conspicuous situations that require further examination with the help of Ryunosuke's legal aid Susato and the brilliance of deduction from Detective Herlock. Herlock will proceed to present his logic and reasoning spectacular, a grandiose yet flawed series of conjectures.
Parece interessante. Mas não sei se eu chegaria a jogar esse jogo. Mas pra quem é fã de Ace Attorney deve estar maluco agora.
Ryunosuke and Susato will then discuss to correct the flaws in Herlock's deductions. At this point, players will be prompted to search for clues that help identify the errors in the detective's logic and reveal the truth to the mystery.
Nossa, agora tem até...
As players present new evidence and observations, Herlock will amend his deductions based on
o máximo que me interessou no momento isso aí seria um Monster Hunter mesmo. O problema é achar os amigos mesmo para jogar.
Into a semi-metaphorical, semi-literal dance that brings them to the conclusion of the dance of deduction.
Até, galera, aproveitando a oportunidade, às 8 horas, deixa eu confirmar aqui. Não, pera aí. Deixa eu ver que horas vai ser. Agora que eu vi aí, 7 horas, na verdade, vai ser a conferência da Razer. Não sei se vocês vão querer que eu transmita também, mas qualquer coisa eu posso fazer a transmissão da Razer.
In courtroom battles, players will attempt to convince 6 jurors of the innocence of their client. Their progress will be displayed and represented by 2 scales of justice, one black, representing a guilty verdict, and one white, representing a not guilty verdict.
Objection!
In summation examination, take the stand to face off against the jurors, all of whom provide explanations as to why they've reached their guilty verdict.
Tem jurados ainda.
You'll have to identify conflicting statements and sway the jury in your favor. Examine each statement carefully and select 2 contradicting jurors to call out the flaws in their logic.
Objection!
Be ready to provide evidence from the court record to help prove the contradiction in their claims. When you successfully point out one of these contradictions among the jurors, you might just change their minds, too.
Não, concordo, Rafa.
With a slam of their fist,
assim,
each juror you
esse
persuade will send a fiery
mas
ball
dá pra
towards the
dar
scales
espaço a
above
outros
and
jogos.
literally tip the scales of justice in your favor. Bring each contradiction to light and persuade the jury to help prove your client's innocence.
Se der tempo, acho que dá pra fazer também a da Razer. Se der
This has
tempo, no
just
caso.
been a small taste of the exciting new gameplay features in the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. We are very excited to get this game in the
Mas por
hands
enquanto,
of both
assim,
new
a
fans
Capcom
and
começou bem,
diehard
mas agora
fans
já
alike.
deu uma enfraquecida
Thanks
mesmo.
for watching.
It already seems like I have a bunch of games to catch up on. There are some exciting new adventures and titles to look forward to. Well, that's a look at the new premieres from Capcom, but what about esports? Let's close out today's showcase with a few words from 2 of the stars of Capcom fighters, Rob TV and
Street
Vicious.
Fighter.
They'll tell us what's been going on with Capcom esports, including updates on the Capcom Pro Tour, Intel World Open, Street Fighter League, and all the other content on Capcom Fighters. Over to you guys.
Eu tô achando que eles devem no máximo falar um pouquinho de
What's
Street
going on,
Fighter
everybody,
6.
and
Não
welcome
sei.
to the Capcom esports presentation for E3 2021. My name is Vicious, commentator for the Capcom Pro Tour as well as Street Fighter League, here with competitive Street Fighter V player and host extraordinaire, Hollywood, Rob TV. What's going on, Rob?
Oh my goodness, Vicious. Host extraordinaire. That just sounds beautiful. It has a ring to it. And I think that's the perfect word to describe what we have for everyone today. Street Fighter V.
Se der tempo, galera, eu vejo se dá pra fazer o da rave.
Nice! Nice! What? That was nasty! And there might be some people at home, Vicious, who don't fully know what competitive Street Fighter V is. The long and the short of it is this. We travel all around the world, state to state, country to country, and we try to bring our opponent's life bar from 100 all the way down to 0 and feel pretty goddamn good doing it.
That's right, Rob. If you think you're the best in your region, sign up for Capcom Pro Tour to prove it and become possibly a world champion at Street Fighter V.
The double perfect, the way he looked at the camera like...
Eu não jogo muito Street, mas o Street ficou muito, podemos dizer, técnico de lá pra cá. O que eu gostei mesmo foi Street Fighter 2.
On the line for each tournament, but that money alone, that's not what's really at stake here. It's about making it to the granddaddy of them all, Capcom Cup.
Item just reset in grand finals of Capcom Cup.
So behind me, you can see in all of its glory, the Capcom Pro Tour 2021 official stage and set, and that's a place that you are very, very familiar with.
That's right, we take all of
Eu
our
não sou lá
events and
muito bom em
broadcast
Street Fighter
live
5.
from the stage, and we check out all of the top competitors from each and every one of these regions. And speaking of, the Capcom Pro Tour has shaped up a lot.
Eu também sou bem
2021, we have
amador
32 events
Tá vendo
going
essa
on in the
PlayStation? Se
Capcom
quiser
Pro Tour,
entrar
spanning
na cal
across
aqui,
19 different territories. So there's
é
so
só
many
falar que eu já
opportunities
pus.
for players from around the world to get that ticket into Capcom Cup this season. I'm absolutely excited because, again, that is a big change from what 2020 was into what we could expect for 2021.
And Mago is your first qualifier for Japan for the Capcom Pro Tour.
Not only can you catch the Capcom Pro Tour live on the Capcom Fighters channel, you can do so on a plethora of platforms. We have it on Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. Of course, if you don't catch it live, you can also check out the VODs for all the competitive studying you would need to become a
Sim, eles
successful
sempre estão
Street
fazendo
Fighter
campeonatos
player,
de
as well as
Street
catching some of the
Fighter, mas sim, o
community-focused
Street
content
Fighter
we have
5
on Capcom Fighters.
ele
We have
ainda
No
tem,
Neutral, the official
estão
pre-show of
botando
the
bastante lenha pra
Capcom Pro
queimar
Tour.
em
We
cima
have
dele,
sets where we take
mas já
players
podia
from around the
aparecer,
world
quem
and
sabe, o
play
Street
off
Fighter
in
3.
Exhibition first to 10. Not only that, actually, we do have Street Fighter League that's happened season after season, non-stop action, 6 teams of 3 duke it out in this battle tournament series.
Mas tá falando aí, ó, tá PlayStation, se quiser aparecer aí na cal.
$150,000 prize pool.
Street Fighter League is something that you don't want to miss because normally we only have 1v1 content. But now you actually have your teammates at your back and every decision that you make is not just about you anymore.
Look for more news on Street Fighter League later this year.
It's Oki time. What's gonna happen?
Nice.
He checks it. He checks the movement. What's happening?
It's so good.
Let's not forget, the Intel World Opening is happening right now. Top players representing 11 regions around the world are competing for their place in the World Finals happening next month.
Ah, beleza aí, essa PlayStation. Mas é sempre bom aparecer aí. Nem que seja pra comentar.
And broadcast schedule.
To commemorate this event, everyone who logged in during this period will receive an exclusive competitor title
Agora
and
tá mostrando o Street Fighter,
You do not want to
Ana.
miss this.
I highly recommend everyone to stay tuned for future Capcom Pro Tour updates on the Capcom Fighters channel.
And again, we've had so many events so far. We started off with the Japan region. We've had a couple of more events going on afterwards, but the action does not stop. In fact, we're going to be continuing off with the Midwest region for the Capcom Pro Tour. I know you're definitely excited about that.
100%. I mean, of course, your boy is from Ohio. Make sure you guys tune in to see the tournament.
You do not want to miss some of the best Street Fighter V players
Por enquanto
in the
nada,
world
essa PlayStation.
compete head to head.
So it's you.
I dare you to find better Street Fighter. I dare you.
This is a game about being a world warrior. Capcom
Obviously, they got a rivalry.
I'm the best in the world.
This game has changed the lives of so many people here.
Nice. The pop-off. That's what I'm talking about.
I told you it's gonna go to the limit, and I ain't lying to the beat.
This is the ultimate Street Fighter V experience. This is Capcom Pro Tour.
Thanks, guys. It's been a really exciting season so far, and I can't wait to see how this plays out on the road to Capcom Cup. Remember to check out Capcom Fighters' Twitch and YouTube channels for more information and to watch the latest matches. So that's a wrap for Capcom at E3 this year. Let's recap what we all saw. Resident Evil Village is back with the latest installment of the survival horror experience and RE-verse as part of the franchise's 25th anniversary. We have new adventures to embark on in the world of Monster Hunter with Monster Hunter Stories 2, Wings of Ruin, and Monster Hunter Rise. And don't forget to go back in time with the great Ace Attorney Chronicles to tap into the family history of Phoenix Wright and solve new cases. Finally, don't miss out on the esports fun. Make sure you catch the latest matches with Capcom Fighters. There really is something for everyone here today. But don't go anywhere yet. Join the conversation on Twitter and make sure you check out the Capcom virtual booth on the E3 portal to watch all these videos again and more. I'm Rachel Querico, aka Seltzer. Thank you for being part of the Capcom experience at E3 this year.
Podia ter sido pouco melhor. Mostrando pouco mais de novidade, tipo, como falei, um Resident Evil 4 que todo mundo tá querendo. Quem sabe um Devil May Cry 6, Street Fighter 6. Mas E3 já tá tomando mais de olho pra isso mesmo. Mas isso aí, galera. Cuida aí, já acaba a conferência da Capcom. Se vocês quiserem, eu faço a da Raider. Eu organizo as coisas rapidinho e já abro a live na hora, se vocês quiserem. E é isso aí. É só falar aí, galera, vocês vão querer da Razer ou não. Mas no geral eu achei boa. Eu acho que daria uma nota 6, assim. Que começou bem e aí depois já deu uma enfraquecida. Mas é só falar aí, galera, se vocês quiserem ver mesmo da Razer. Vai começar às 7 horas, então a decisão é de vocês aí. Se vão querer sim ou não pra Razer. Só não aguardei a resposta de vocês pra saber se vão querer o da Razer ou não. Mas no geral eu achei mais ou menos mesmo. Beleza, já vou ir preparando aqui, mas fiquem de olho aí no canal que eu não demoro. Então, falou!